Today I am going to talk about a very important topic, and the name of the topic is, or the title of the topic is Barriers of Communication. Communication is a constant activity, it is a daily activity. All the time we are communicating in our circles, in our homes, in our offices, with our fellows, colleagues. But the more we communicate, the more are the chances that people misunderstand us, or even we misunderstand the intentions and the meanings of other people. Now, what are some of the reasons why barriers occur in our communication, due to which our social quotient is affected, our relationship is affected, and people are fired, their promotions are stopped, and even if you do not perform at your maximum potential, you're not hired during the interviews. It is necessary that we should be aware of the barriers in our communication. Let me start with the Chinese proverb that says, teachers open the door, but you must enter by yourself. As a teacher, we can just show you the ways and the means, but it is you who has to understand, who has to ask any question, anything which is not clear to you, and you have to implement and execute and practice the solutions which are being shared with you. Broadly speaking, we can divide people into two categories. One category means people with the growth mindset, and the other category is of people with fixed mindset. Now, most of the people are not aware whether they are having growth mindset or they are having fixed mindset, or maybe they say that we are growth oriented, we have social mindset, we are very expert in developing relation with the people, but practically through their behavior you can find out that they are not having growth mindset, they are having fixed mindset. Now, what are some of the differentiating points between the two categories? A growth mindset, such a person embraces challenges. He does not avoid challenges. He welcomes them with open hands, and he tries to find opportunity even in threatening situations. On the other hand, the person with a fixed mindset is always trying to avoid difficult situations. Whenever some difficult situation comes, that person closes his or her eyes and transports himself or herself into heaven-like feelings, thinking that something supernatural will take place, and this way they will be able to dodge the challenge, but challenge remains the same. A person with a growth mindset persists in the face of setbacks. If such a person is having failures, he doesn't lose heart, keeps on working. On the other hand, person with a fixed mindset gets frustrated, and so he gives up easily. The one with the growth mindset sees effort as a path to mastery. He believes in try again. But on the other hand, the person with a fixed mindset, he has firm belief. He thinks that potential or capability or skills, these are predetermined. Yes, through our DNA, there may be some limitations, but again, the latest research says that you can break the writing of your DNA and you can outperform based on your thinking, based on your actions, based on your behavior. The person with growth mindset accepts criticism and learns from it. The other one hates those people who criticize him and he takes that criticism to his heart. And finally, the person with the growth mindset finds lessons and inspiration in the success of others. He truly enjoys and appreciates people around him who are gaining success, whereas the person with the fixed mindset feels threatened by the success of others. He thinks that if others are succeeding, it means that he has to fail. So their success is failure for him, and their failure, others' failure, brings him happiness. So strange. That's why people with a fixed mindset, they are not being accepted in the new world. Rather, they have hardly been accepted even in any growing organization, because organization want people with the growth mindset, those who welcome the challenges and keeps on working hard, like Jack Ma of Alibaba. And there are many such other stories for us. That means mindset is everything. Whatever you are looking yourself in the mirror as a reflection of your imagination. Now, let's see some of the definitions of the barriers in communication. Communication is the activity of passing on, conveying meaningful information. Communication does not mean having nonsense talk. It always means you mean business. And there are two people minimum. One is the sender, the other is the receiver, one is the speaker, other is the listener, who are required in the process of communication. And then there should be a message, something to convey, something important. And barrier means any obstacle that prevents clear understanding of the message from the sender to the receiver, from the speaker to the listener. So, communication barriers can be defined as the aspect or conditions that interfere with effective exchange of ideas or thoughts. You are sitting in the classroom, listening to the lecture, but the fan is very much noisy. That's the physical barrier. Noise. Or there is power breakdown. It's scorching heat. The environment will make you uncomfortable. You will be more focused on when the lecture will be over or when the meeting will be over, rather than focusing on the words of the speakers in that meeting or in the lecture. So anything that basically interferes, distorts, creates trouble in 100% understanding of the message, that's called barrier. Because communication is basically exchange of information from one mind to another mind. This information can be shared in the form of an idea, a fact, an image, a picture, an emotional story, and it can be written, spoken, drawn, danced, like in performing arts, sung, or mimed. Whatever the medium, if the message does not reach the other person, there is no communication or there is miscommunication. That means that your message can be very good and your medium can be very much well chosen. But if it does not have required result, it does not elicit the required feedback, it means that it has not been communicated properly. So, in such a case, either there is no communication or there is miscommunication. So, this is the process of communication, in which first of all you have an idea. That idea is translated into language. After this, you select a channel, whether it will be written in written form or spoken form, or a presentation or a handout, or pictures or objects. And here, senders or speakers or encoders activity ends, and here starts the activity on the part of the decoder or listener or receiver. So whatever you say, your customer, your client, your student decodes your message, and based on your encoding, your choice of word, your choice of tone, your verbal and non-verbal communication, he will interpret the message, whether you are serious in the message or you are making fun of that person. Whatever is, you cannot control interpretation of the message by the receiver. And based on his or her interpretation, the person will respond. That will be the feedback. Feedback can be of three kinds. They can be positive feedback through body language or through writing. Yes, I have understood your message. Or it can be negative feedback through the body language. The person shows that he or she has not understood you, or the person may remain silent. Silent is a very strong form of feedback and generally means things not understood. And sometimes, based on the context, we mean that silence means okay, I accept you. Again, there is a room for miscommunication here. Now, Acharya Chankya, also called Kotriya Chankya, once remarked, if you want to overpower the entire world merely by just one action, then put restraint upon your tongue, speaking ill of others. He is considered Machiavelli of subcontinent. The only thing which builds up rapport and good relations is your use of tongue. If you speak too much, you will make lots of mistakes. You may speak ill of others. It's better to watch your words. That's why the British say, think twice before you speak once. Another quote: when you focus on problems, you will have more problems. But when you focus on your possibilities, you will have more opportunities, and it is again related to the mindset. If you have growth mindset, you will have more opportunities. New and new ways will be visible to you. But once you close your mind, you have fixed mindset. You think everything is predetermined. Then there will be no way out for you. Barriers are of different kinds. Physical barriers, doors that are closed means lecture is going on, you are late, the doors of the lecture room are closed, you are standing outside. Some of the words are heard by you and some of the words are not heard by you. So that way proper communication will not take place. Walls that are erected. Walls means there are cubicles, there are cabins, people are sitting and talking there. If you try to overhear them, you will not get complete message. Likewise, geographical distance between people, because there is cultural variation. In our culture and in the British culture, if you see more than 4 to 5 seconds eye to eye to the speaker, it will be taken as a sign of disrespect. But if in the American culture you are talking to some American and you do not maintain your eye contact while talking, the other person will have a different opinion about you. You have a shifty character. So geographical distance also creates room for misunderstanding. Environment, that is adverse weather condition. I told you that scorching heat, sitting in the lecture room, light goes off, no AC running, no fans running. After imagine 10 minutes, 20 minutes later, what will be your condition? So the ambience in which you are having a conversation, if the place is too noisy or too crowded, you may not be able to clearly listen to the speaker. So these are some of the physical barriers. Then there are perceptual barriers. These barriers exist in your mind. These are internal. For example, prejudice. If I have prejudice against you, no matter the high quality of work you produce, I will not accept it. I will be picking fault. Why? Because I have prejudice. There are many other perceptual barriers like our own preferences, our values, our attitudes, origins, and life experiences, which act as filters on our experiences of people, events, and information. Then we are habitual of making assumptions. Stereotyping means we generalize people after having bad experience. And then there are misunderstandings. After perceptual barriers, we got emotional barrier. Now, emotion can be barrier to communication if you are too much busy, too much engrossed, too much lost in your emotions for some reason. If you are angry, if you are frustrated, then you will not give 100% listening to the other person. There are different kinds of emotional interferences which interfere with your thinking, like hostility, like anger, like resentfulness, and fear. The roots of our emotional mistrust of others lie in our childhood and infancy when we're taught to be careful with what we said to others. It means that most of our personality problems they are from our childhood. Hello.